So we felt there were a few orthopedics that the original scenario left out, so we're going to show you a few of those orthopedics, and then we'll go into the functional movement screening after that. So first, the orthopedics. One of the things we thought it might be was subacromial bursitis. An orthopedic related to that would be Daw-Barnes test. So to perform Daw-Barnes, I'm going to have the patient, I'm going to palpate the subacromial bursitis. I'm going to have them lift their elbow up and out, which would increase the pain. So if this increases the patient's discomfort, then I'd have them lower it back down. If that decreases the patient's discomfort, we're thinking subacromial bursitis. Okay, for another thing we thought it might be is supraspinatus strain. So for that, we're going to do an empty can test. So for an empty can, we're going to have the patient stand up, and what we're going to do is we're going to have them bring their thumbs down and then slightly forward. And then we're going to apply pressure to each side. This stresses the supraspinatus tendon and would cause pain in the localized area, telling us it was a supraspinatus strain. Okay, another thing we thought it could be is a prior dislocation of the shoulder. So we're going to do the apprehension test. This is the patient's right shoulder, so we're going to do apprehension on the right. What I'm going to have the patient do is I'm going to be looking at the patient's face while I put the patient's shoulder in this compromised position. If he shows me a face like that, then I know that's apprehension. It could be a prior shoulder dislocation, thus being the pain in the shoulder. And for the last test, we think it could be a labral tear, so we're going to use a test that tests partially for labral tear, which is called Jurgensen's. It also tests for other things, but one of them is a labral tear. So what I'm going to have you do is bring your hand here, and what you're going to do is wrap it up here. Okay? I'm going to have you repeat that motion, except I'm going to resist you the whole time, and then I just want you to keep resistance against me. So go ahead and do that motion. And then we're going to bring it out. So that right there would show pain in the labrum, which would indicate a labral tear. So now we're going to perform a functional movement screening related to the shoulder. We're only going to perform part of it because we're going to do the parts that are actually related to the chief complaint. The first one we're going to do is a squat because it relates to the patient's ability to hold and maintain the shoulder in this motion. So basically I want you to hold this overhead, and we're going to see if you can do it at all. It's graded on a 1 to 3 system. And we're going to have you keep your knees width apart, and we're going to see if you can do a squat at all without bending forward. If he can do it, but he bends forward, then that's a grade 1. We would then put we would see if he could do it with a heel support. We'd put a board underneath his heels. If he could do it straight with the heel support, that'd be a grade 2. If he could do it straight with everything in line, including the scapula, shoulders, and back, without the heel support, that would be a grade 3. Okay, the second thing we're going to do is going to be a shoulder mobility test. So what we're going to do is have the patient face away, have them take one fist, put it at the top of their back, as far down as they can, take the other fist and put it at the bottom of their back as far up as they can. And we would grade this based on the distance that it can travel between the 2 points. If the distance is greater than 1.5 fist lengths, which is about 1.5 fist lengths, if it was greater, say he could only do this, that would be a grade 1. If he can do what he can do here, that's a grade 2 within 1.5 fist lengths. And if he could actually touch or would be within 1 fist length, that would be a grade 3, being the best. So we can measure progress based on those ranges of motion or those distances between his hands. The third we would do is going to be a trunk stability in the form of a push-up. We would grade this based off of hand placement and his ability to perform the motion. So the first grade would be with his hands behind his axilla, and if he was able to perform a push-up without arching the back, that would be a grade 1. Then we would bring it to the shoulder and see if he could do a push-up keeping his back straight. If he could do that, that's a grade 2. And then if he'd bring his hands above his shoulder and do a push-up and maintain, then that would be a grade 3. And we could gauge that based on their improvement over time.